It's 5:45 p.m., which means it's time for BC TV's Nightly News Roundup. I'm Roland Boyden alongside Joe Bushy. That makes this show 5:45 Live. Joe, what's on deck?
Hey, Roland. Tonight, it's a big night for the Brattleboro Housing Authority and the DRB, a tragedy for BUHS and Bernston. The Common goes to the town, and Governor Shumlin talks at BMAC. Archer Mayor talks the talk, and more tonight.
And remember, we're going to do it all in 15 minutes, so you get time to stick with us. Welcome back to 5:45 Live. That's footage from local resident Walter Schwartz, who joined hundreds of Vermonters, including the town's energy coordinator Paul Cameron, for a trip down to Washington, D.C. to join the protest of the XL pipeline, which could cut a swath through Canada and the U.S., vandalizing aquifers and other valuable eco-structures. Welcome to 5:45 Live.
Next, yesterday's tragic car wreck in Bernston, Massachusetts has claimed the life of 17-year-old Brattleboro Union High School student Daniel Bliss after his Subaru Outback was broadsided by an SUV while merging from Route 142 south onto Route 10. No further details have been released at this time.
All right. Well, next, plenty of drama brewing downstairs in the Brattleboro Select Board meeting room here for a DRB meeting that's coming up. The fate of 26 Melrose Terrace residents could be decided at tonight's Brattleboro Development Review Board meeting, as the Housing Authority asks the review board to accept repair estimates that would allow 5 of their houses on the property to be re-inhabited. Now, our ever-lovely operations manager, Vlasta Popelka, is standing by in the DRB room for more. But first, this past Friday, I caught up with BHA ED Christine Hart, along with BHA Commissioners Chris Connolly and Tom Fennell, to talk a little bit about what they're hoping to get out of this meeting. Let's take a look.
What we hope will come out of the meeting with the DRB is that they will accept our market study, and they will accept the cost estimates from our contractor, John Burnell, and that in doing so, the costs of the final repair for these 5 buildings will be under the 50%, which is the FEMA limit.
If you support affordable housing, especially for the elderly and disabled in Brattleboro, we would like you to come. At the end of the meeting on Monday night, we want to be able to call these 26 people and tell them they can go home.
Occasional 5:45 Live desk host Vlasta Popelka, BCTV Operations Manager Extraordinaire, standing by in the Brattleboro Select Board meeting room for more. Vlasta, tell us what's going on.
Tonight's DRB meeting is going to be broadcast live on BCTV Channel 8 from the Select Board meeting starting exactly at 7 p.m. They are expecting a large crowd because there are important items on the agenda, so stay tuned. 7 p.m. Channel 8 BCTV. Back to you, Roland and Joe.
Alrighty, Vlasta, thanks so much for doing that. Vlasta Popelka, she co-hosted this Halloween show with me as well. Again, that meeting starts at 7 p.m. downstairs. It will be broadcast live on BCTV, but for impassioned residents, come to the meeting. It is open to the public, and it will be available on BCTV's video on demand shortly after the meeting. We'll get it up there as well. All right, next, looks like this bulletin is mine. Tony Gilbert, the local resident asking the Center Congregational Church to grant sanctuary to the Occupy Brattleboro protesters inhabiting the Common, could find himself out of a tent earlier this month. Gilbert's findings deterred the town of Brattleboro from policing protesters occupying the Common after it was determined that the property in fact belonged to the Center Congregational Church, not the municipality. Yesterday, more than 70 members of the church, led by Reverend Cara McFadden, voted unanimously to sign the deed to the Common over to the town should they request it. Earlier this afternoon, 5:45 Live correspondent Maria Dominguez caught up with Gilbert about the vote's impact on the protest.
I'm one of the protesters at Occupy Brattleboro out on the Brattleboro Common, and we've been there for a month now today. And we just received word yesterday that the Center Congregational Church voted to sign a quitclaim deed over to the town. And now I have a meeting set up with Barbara Sondag, the town manager, for tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon, at which we're going to discuss the future of Occupy Brattleboro.
All right, next it's time to blast into our 464 report, courtesy of WTSA's Tim Johnson at 464 Putney Road. Tim was at the Brattleboro Museum and Art Center this past Thursday as Governor Shumlin turned up to honor the Wyndham-Windsor Housing Trust, one of just 237 national recipients of the Neighbor Works Charter.
When I think about the challenges that Brattleboro has faced in the 10 months that I've been governor, being back home in the town where I was born, remember the Brooks fire? We all do. This land trust was there helping people who had no place to live get a place to live. They were the best partner to ensure that nobody lived in the cold that night, that week, or that month. And there is no better example of resilience, commitment, caring for each other, neighbors helping neighbors, and neighbors helping strangers than what we saw happen since Irene in Brattleboro. So I want to tell you how proud I am to be the governor of this state, the best people in the country who take care of each other in ways that don't happen in the rest of America. We got a lot to be proud of.
Governor Shumlin speaking last Thursday at BMAC, courtesy of Tim Johnson's YouTube channel, 464 Putney Road, armed with a flip cam. He's been posting all kinds of video up there. You can catch Tim weekdays on the radio, WTSA-FM at 96.7. They've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/WTSA-FM, a website, WTSA-FM.com, and of course, Tim's personal YouTube Facebook page, Tim Johnson Arsenal's become a staple for local news, so check that out as well. Hopefully we'll get more videos from him and his 464 Putney Road YouTube up on our show in the future. Let's see, what do we got next here? I guess with that, we got to wrap up the headlines here. We can move right into our calendar, which means a little dart throwing, as always. Yeah, it's Monday again. Let's see what we got for the bulletins. Boy, I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking. Hopefully I get you back on, Joe. Archer Mayer is at the Dummerston Community Center at 7 p.m. tonight to discuss his new book, Tagman. A few months ago, he stopped by the Brattleboro Reformer's offices to read from his latest work.
He considered the conclusions he'd reached about these two: huge overhead, staggering bills, social expectations from all corners, embarrassing secrets, an impressive burden of toil, cost, supply, and demand based on nothing more important than the choice between cashmere and lamb's wool. But he wasn't condemning.
Archer Mayer at the Brattleboro Reformer offices, earlier reading from his new book, Tagman. You can find them at brattlebororeformer.com. Of course, get yourself a paper if you want all the details, and watch videos off of their YouTube channel like that one. Brattleboro Reformer, all one word, is their YouTube user account. All right, Joe, I'll turn it back over to you for more calendar action here.
All right, Roland. Tonight at 7 p.m. at the Brooks Memorial Library, author co-host Joni Hole hosts her talk, For Every Bad Dog There's a Very Good Story. And
yeah, that's right.
Back to you.
Let's see, brooks.lib.vt.us, I believe, is their website. Of course, you can also Google libraries in Brattleboro and get there. They got a bevy of events, a pretty cool interactive calendar. You can also sign up for all sorts of other things there. Of course, tonight, 7 p.m., just quickly re-mention the Development Review Board because it is a calendar item as well, and of course, part of our schedule quick glance as well as it shows on Channel 8 Live. But also, tomorrow at 7 p.m., Guilford resident Linda Hay will share her summer journey to Ireland with the Brattleboro area community at All Souls Church in West Brattleboro.
Also, Wednesday at the Brooks Memorial Library, Connecticut State Superior Court Judge, historian, and author Michael Shea presents Stout-Hearted Lads, Major General Clarence R. Edwards in the Yankee Division in the First World War.
Just a sample of the events coming up around town. If you want more information, you can do what I do when I'm compiling this here show, and head to ibrattleboro.com, where individuals and organizations from around the community update those events themselves. And of course, you can also email me, Roland, at brattleboro.tv.org. That's ROLAND at brattleboro.tv.org if you want us to list your event. And moving along, it's time for our BCTV Schedule Quick Glance. The Quick Glance is my daily opportunity to shamelessly plug what's coming up here on BCTV on both our Comcast cable channels 8 and 10. And I'll start it off tonight by looking at 8 here. Coming up tonight at 6 p.m. we have a piece from former BCTV E.D. Hyamide entitled Occupy Boston, Reenact Glass-Steagall.
Glass-Steagall Act was enacted in the early 30s by the Roosevelt administration. It was designed to separate investment banking, which is very risky, from commercial banking, so that masses of people's funds in commercial banks couldn't be used just for gambling on the stock market and things like that.
All right, next at 6:05 p.m. we have Living in Town, a choice for the successful aging. That's from 545 Live senior news correspondent Teresa Maggio. She did. Boy, that sucks. And coming up at 6:05 p.m. we have Living in Town, a choice for successful aging from 545 Live senior news correspondent Teresa Maggio, followed up at 6:30 p.m. by Friday's excellent broadcast of BUHS TV. Then at 7 p.m. that Brattleboro Development Review Board meeting live that we mentioned. And lastly, I'll throw out a reminder that due to Free Speech TV's pledge drive weeks, Democracy Now! Has been moved forward by half an hour through next week, which means that broadcasts go on at 11:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. both on Channel 8. And with that, Joe, I'll throw it over to you to do the quick lines for our government and education sister channel, Channel 10, just 2 spots up the dial.
Well, now, it looks like we've got BUHS football versus Essex from October 28th at 6 p.m. Then at 6:30 p.m. we've got the Vernon Select Board meeting live. At 9:30 p.m., the most recent Brattleboro Select Board meeting. And we're going to throw it back to you at that, Roland.
All right, well, that's all we have time for, a jam-packed show today. But before we say sayonara for the night, remember to switch us back in just 48 hours early, 47.5, for our webcast Wednesday special from the Works in downtown Brattleboro, where we'll get you, in addition to all the headlines, quick glance, calendar, and more, a behind-the-scenes look at the new Batman movie filming in New York, courtesy of BCTV Access Coordinator Frederick Noyes. All that and more in just 2 days. So sit tight in the meantime for BCTV 545 Live. And Joe Bushy, I'm Roland Boyden saying good night, everybody.
Sayonara.